How to not get defensive in your next argument. My name is Jefferson Fisher. I'm an attorney down in Texas, and I teach people how to argue and communicate. Now, I don't know if anybody's told you this, but other people's words are not your responsibility to carry. It's not tennis or volleyball. You don't have to hit it back over a net. Instead of getting defensive and catching it and throwing it back, just let it fall to the ground. Let their words fall to the ground like a piano note that is ending its sustain. All right, and you do that by adding pauses into the argument. So big breaths and just wait 10 seconds and get in that other person's head. Make them think, is this really what I want to say? Make them rethink their words. Let that pause linger. And when you do that, you take back control. So try that and follow me for more tips.
This is your reminder this weekend that if you are underemployed or recently laid off or in job transition in any way, you deserve rest and you deserve to also experience joy. Hi, I'm Beverly. One of the most consistent comments I get on my page when I am posting advice and feedback for folks who are navigating this market is in direct relation to the depression, the exhaustion, the frustration, all of which weigh down on your mental health. You are just as, if not more, entitled to joy and celebration and rest as anyone else who is doing anything else. And I remember when I was underemployed, trying to navigate the hiring market, trying to get a job, and I felt like I didn't deserve to take time off because I needed to find a job. However, what I realized is that when I was spending 12 hours a day applying to jobs, doing nothing but changing my resume up, doing all of the things that everybody's doing, and when you're burnt out, you can't interview effectively, you can't apply effectively, you're constantly running from a scarcity mindset. And obviously resources are scarce, so it makes sense. However, everything shifted for me when it came to the interview process, application process, alignment of the hiring process, when I started to implement as part of my job application process, moments of rest, peace, activity as a part of my schedule. For example, I would get up at 8 a.m. and then apply to jobs all day, break for lunch, and then keep applying until way late in the night, maybe scroll on social media and then go to bed and do it all over again. And I felt like crap every single day. And I said to myself, I deserve to feel good even if I'm not feeling great about my job situation. So where can I find that? And I found a dance fitness class that was not far that had $5 classes. And I said to myself, I can spend $5 on a dance fitness class. Let me go and see what it's all about. And it literally changed everything for me. I started going a couple of times a week from what I could afford. And the community, the dancing, the joy, but it had like 50 women in there of all walks of life, and we were bumping to reggaeton, to dance music, to like, it was bumping. So to start my morning off with those endorphins and to feel like I was in community really set me up for the rest of the day. And once I started doing that, I noticed, okay, well, where else can I find it? And I started doing yoga. I got into yoga. And personally, I don't really like yoga that much. I'm really there. But what it did do for me is I got free YouTube videos. I found a mat. And there were some weeks where I couldn't do the Zumba. I just didn't have the money for it. So I would do Walk with Joe on YouTube, Chloe Ting, Move with Nicole is that girl. And that joined with the Zumba. Now I'm starting to feel really, really good. But the main thing I noticed was that as I was applying to jobs, I stopped applying like to everything. But I was paying attention and had the capacity to pay attention to alignment, which made my application stronger and made my interviews stronger. Because now I was seeing places and companies and organizations that I actually felt aligned to, which then pulled my energy towards crafting a better application. So that when the time came and I was in the interview process, I felt and had the capacity for being locked in as opposed to being in a state of nervousness and tension like I had been in previous interviews. And I found every morning when I prioritized myself, prioritized it as an act of resistance, like, hey, despite what's going on, I deserve to take care of myself and I feel better when I do. It made a huge difference on my mental health as I was applying to things, and it stopped me from being in a state of frenzy and applying to anything and everything. I actually was able to really lock in and give myself the time and alignment, not only to apply intentionally, but also to start showcasing my knowledge leadership on LinkedIn, other spaces as well. And it gave me more bandwidth to attend free networking events or free virtual networking events once a week because I was coming from that place of alignment. I recognize that the hiring market is changing and is nuanced and it's consistently evolving, and that throughout all of that it is incredibly overwhelming. However, if I can encourage anyone who is feeling really down and looking for feedback on like how to get out of the rut. I cannot stress enough the importance of starting the day with yourself. And I empathize with there's been so many times, and if you go to my Instagram, there's a video I did about like even the situation I'm in now, having started my own business, and how you feel like you have to rush, you have to get because like there's so much on the line. And when I start my practice with me every morning, even if that practice is just waking up and writing in my journal because I don't have time to do a full workout, it really, really does change the framing of my entire day. And when I was underemployed, it really made a difference in a way that I actually had underestimated. So this weekend, please start your morning or start your day with yourself, especially if you have children, if you're in a caregiver role, if the weight of the bills and all of the things are weighing on you, even if it's just 5 minutes of just breath work. Like, I know this crap sounds cheesy, but it really changed everything for me. And I had it like a schedule, like I was working my job. I started my morning with Zumba. I then applied like crazy to different roles that I felt aligned to. Then I did lunch, because you need to nourish yourself. After lunch, I went outside for like 15 minutes sometimes, just stood in the sun for a second and breathed deep, went right back at it, sometimes until 9, 10, 11 p.m. But the difference between how I felt when I wasn't doing it and when I was like night and freaking day. So joy is an act of resistance. Find yours this weekend.
How to stop people pleasing. If by making them like you more, you like yourself less, that price is too high. So we're going to do this. Number one, tell them you're going to disappoint them. That means by saying it out loud, we have a better control over the fear of it. And it sounds like this. This is going to disappoint you. I can't go tonight. And 9 times out of 10, the response you're going to get is, oh no, you're totally fine. And you're going to realize it was all just in your head, and they're going to be just fine. Number 2, get them to agree on what is best for you. And it sounds like this. I'm going to tell you this because I know you want what's best for me. I can't make that happen. And here, by getting them to agree on what is best for you, they will actually become a supporter of your decision. And number 3, begin your response with, I promised myself. For example, I promised myself I wouldn't overcommit this week. I promised myself I'd be in bed by whatever. People don't respect reasons sometimes, but they will always respect promises, and they'll respect you more for not breaking them. So try that and follow me. Here's my secret to eye contact. You can read all kinds of stuff on eye contact. There's a 50-70% rule out there. You can imagine a triangle on somebody's face. Just toss all of that and just do this. Number 1, try to know what you're going to say before you say it. It's not the movement of your eyes that's the problem. It's the movement of your thoughts. When you're trying to search for thoughts, your eyes are going to reflect the searching. So you're not going to be able to keep eye contact. You fix that by knowing generally what you're going to say before you say it. Number 2, don't put pressure on yourself to make eye contact the entire time. All you need to do is establish eye contact at least once when you're talking and once when you're listening. So just make eye contact